Would you rather spend 1 year living in an igloo or a desert teepee? Welcome to the Rathercast,
where every week we present to you a family-friendly Would You Rather question. We debate our answers and we invite you to do the same with your family. This week, are you going to live in a
desert,
frozen, cold igloo? Actually, I think igloos aren't cold on the inside.
No, they are.
If they're built properly. They're not dangerously cold on the inside. I mean, it's like cold, relatively speaking. So I guess really what it comes down to is, would you like to spend a year being kind of uncomfortably cold or kind of uncomfortably hot?
Yep, exactly.
That's kind of what it comes down to. But Eldon, you thought of this question. This is going to be a single question rapid fire episode, I think, this week. And that's okay. Sometimes our questions don't take so long to answer. So, Eldon, would you rather igloo or desert teepee?
Igloo.
An igloo. Please tell me why.
Because I feel like it'll be easier to get food and to get water.
Interesting. Yeah, well, because the walls are literally made of frozen water, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there'll probably be plenty of ice and snow outside.
Yeah.
For melting. I like this.
And
this is strategic.
You could sled. And I'd bring a sled.
Oh, he's going to bring a sled. He'd have lots of fun.
And
what
I
type
may
of
have
sled?
A snowball fight.
You'd have snowball
my
fights?
My neighbors.
You're going to have neighbors apparently as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a whole year planned.
Uh-huh.
That's good. That sounds fun. Ender, igloo or desert teepee?
Igloo.
And I could have heaters.
Igloo.
I'm going to bring...
You can't have heaters. It's going to melt the walls.
Oh, good point.
I think there's a way to build fire in an igloo to heat. How can you heat an igloo? That sounds counter...
But then you'd rebuild it.
You'd have to constantly be rebuilding your melted igloo.
No, but then you'd rebuild it on the outside so it would be bigger.
By the end of it, I'm going to have...
And that's how you'd get water.
Tunnels underground. There's going to be a passageway.
Oh, you're going to do lots of work? Digging?
I need to bring tons of shovels and buckets. There's going to be passageways underground. It's going to be like a igloo, and then there's the regular entrance shape of like a dome. And then there's the dome part. Except when you go in there, you have to step down.
Oh.
One step, which is 1 foot big. Except there's 3 of them. So you're going down 3 feet.
3 steps.
3 feet. And then there's a tunnel cave.
You have a very premium igloo.
And then there's a tunnel cave so that you can go into the warmer parts.
Built on top of a cave. Ella, what else did you want to say?
I feel like that's how you'd get your water if you melted the walls.
Oh, you melt the walls of your igloo.
And then you rebuild it outside. So then
you
it would
add
get
more,
bigger,
pack more ice and snow on the outside.
And then it would get bigger.
I wish we had an igloo expert to tell us if this was a real possibility. However, I am going to break ranks and live for a year in a desert teepee.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be... I feel like I'd be uncomfortably cold the whole time. And actually, I feel like there's a range of temperatures in the desert. So it actually does get quite cold in the evening. And I could kind of change my schedule around and maybe do more stuff as the sun is setting and the sun is rising. And I would just hide from the sun in the middle of the day in the teepee. Although it would get quite hot in there. And I would have to learn how to harvest water. There's lots of things to learn for my survival.
That's for sure.
I think it would be an interesting adventure. I'd have to learn all about different types of cacti and what kind of desert creatures are edible. The creatures that I can eat in the desert, do you think? Lizards? Can I eat lizards? Desert foxes?
I don't know.
Is there foxes in the desert? That's interesting.
Giraffes. Heck a lot of meal that day.
I'll be so sad to eat a giraffe.
You'll be eating a lot of neck.
No, giraffes live in like Africa. They don't live in the desert.
Yeah, Africa has deserts.
Well, I don't think that's where the giraffes live, though.
Yeah.
Where are they going to eat? They need like fresh leaves and trees to eat, not in a desert.
Yeah, there's...
Can I move my teepee to a jungle? I don't know about this desert now that I'm thinking about it. And any thoughts on desert versus... do you think I'm going to survive the year in the teepee?
No.
Yeah, I think my chances are pretty slim.
Maybe a week.
My own children think I'm only going to survive a week in this desert teepee. I feel like I need to do it.
Build an underground system, because then you'll have access to pools.
Get digging. Yeah. You think I can dig deep enough for pools? Underground water. Interesting. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week on the Rathercast. We're keeping it nice and short and sweet, and we would love to hear about your ideas about whether it'd be more fun or challenging to live in an igloo or a desert teepee. And you can find us at TheRathercast.com, of course. And we're going to catch you next week right here on
The Rathercast.
Would you rather show your love for the Rathercast by supporting the show or crush the hopes and dreams of a dad and his 2 sons? Make the right choice and learn how you can help by checking the show notes or visiting TheRathercast.com. You can also submit a Would You Rather question of your own to be considered for a future episode by emailing TheRathercast@gmail.com.